This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm JP.
Dramatic effect.
Yep.
All right. Door_disc_golf and then night_owl_pod. Is it owl or owls?
Owls.
Owls to
Yes.
multiples.
Multiples.
Like a parliament.
Yes.
So night_owls_pod. Instagram. And then doordisc.com where you can get all your disc golf needs. And with that being said, mystery box season is upon us. Mm-hmm. With MVP dropping the Gyropalooza boxes. I'm not sure if you're listening to this, whether the pre-order will still be available, but we are bringing in 30 boxes of 30. There's 60 boxes.
Holy cow.
We're bringing in a lot. No, I think it's just 30. And then we also have the brick and mortar boxes coming in. And those we can't pre-sell, can't do anything like that.
Uh-huh.
It's first come, first serve. And that'll have the special variants in them. So the different ones. So those MVP boxes will be pretty darn soon. And they'll give us an official drop date. And as soon as we know it, I'll put it on here.
Cool.
And on the website and wherever else it needs to be. Mm-hmm. So here's some updates about the shop. So I will start with the drops. So we are going to get Brixton in the trading cards.
Oh, wow.
We're just waiting for monies to align and stars to align, and then we're going to order them. No stars aligning. The stars are already aligned. We just need the monies to align now.
Got it.
No, it'll be one among our next budgeted orders, I believe. I hope I'm right. Matt, tell me if I'm right. And then we did place an MVP order, quite large one. And I believe we are getting one this week as well. We also have Black Friday sales coming up. So we're actually going to participate in that. We never have before.
Okay.
So keep an eye out on those. And we will be releasing that information here real shortly, probably this week. And then if you're local or in the area of Green Bay, we do have putting leagues, and they're flex style putting league in the shop that go on for a whole week.
Nice.
And we have, I believe it's 8 or 9 weeks worth of putting leagues. And there's the FPO and juniors division gets paid out no matter what.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the MPO or the males division, mixed division, the other division, the rest of you people is just standard.
People.
Yeah, you people.
What do you mean, you people?
That's what I mean. I mean, you people. So yeah. And then while you're there, you can try our minis course. Our minis course is set up. We have tee boxes and baskets and all of them.
8.
Yeah, hole 6. He aced hole 6.
Nice.
I don't know. I haven't played the whole thing yet.
Like, what's the average distance on a hole? Like, how many feet?
Probably average is probably about 30 something feet.
Okay.
But there's some monsters out there. There's like almost a 45 footer.
Whoa.
In there. I know there might even be over 50 because there's one where you throw from the front of the shop to the back, and the shop is about 65 feet long.
Okay.
So it's about maybe 50 something feet.
Are you using, like, Zing minis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our Pico Zing minis.
Picos, yeah.
Which are the can toppers.
Yep. Right on.
And we have plenty of those. We did get 600 minis in. 300 were the Pico minis.
Holy cow.
So yeah, essentially just come on in, grab a Pico mini and start playing. So
That's cool.
yeah. And then last update, well, not the last one, but the significant update is Tech Disc Room is coming along pretty darn well, the Throw Zone. And there is a very good chance that we will be piloteers. Is that right? Piloteers? Or
Test subjects.
Test subjects. Or alpha.
Lab rats.
Yeah. Instead of betas, we're alpha testers.
Yeah.
Of a true disc golf simulator that uses the hardware of Tech Discs.
That's cool.
So as soon as that comes up, we're going to push it out everywhere. But just a nice, good way to offer some more community. And then this coming winter, we will be having birdie disc golf tournaments.
Oh, really?
As well, yeah. And then on the 24th, on the 23rd, the day of my birthday, we have the Dyers Guild coming in.
Yeah, I
run
said
some
okay.
classes. So we do have to have a minimum number signed up. They informed us of that pretty recently. So, yeah, if you want to participate, sign up. So that's all my store updates.
Cool.
So, but everything's going well. Thanks for the support. If you're supporting us, if you're not, why are you not? Come on. All right. With all that being said, today I want to talk rules, and then maybe we'll do some people left, people going, people leaving. I don't have any of that pre-slated, so that'll be up to you.
Okay.
Then.
Yeah, no worries.
And then
There's not too many people who have left yet.
Not yet.
I haven't seen too many things yet, but a couple.
yeah, proposed about 80 players, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, and then so let's get into rules right away. So rules. Here's some of the rules changes.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about timeouts. We're going to talk about the use of video evidence and and photo and restrooms. That's really the big three rules. There's a couple more, but they're pretty not important, insufficient. No, not insufficient. Insignificant.
There you go. Right.
I was saying insufficient. No, that's not right. All right. So let's start with timeout rules. So big hot topic is time violations, excessive time.
Yeah.
So 802.03, and it's the excessive time rule. They have added a section under it. And essentially what it means is you get 2 timeouts a tournament. A round. Excuse me.
Okay.
So what that means is if all of the stipulations have been met to start the clock
Okay.
for their 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So you found and identified your disc. You've established a lie, and there's no distractions within your immediate putting or your immediate line of sight or field of play. Field of play, then that clock starts. And you get 30 seconds to throw the disc.
Okay.
Whether it's a putt or anything, you can now call a timeout, which will give you an additional 60 seconds of time.
That's a long time.
It is a long time. So you can take up
Holy
to
cow.
a minute and a half. What, was that a spider on your neck?
Something. What the?
I didn't see it.
Oh,
I just saw you grab and freak
Asian
out.
beetle.
Oh,
But it felt really okay. That's random.
There you
Anyway,
there's a little bit of panic in your motion there.
oh yeah. So this is,
It would have been better if you
creeping.
made a noise.
yeah, I feel like an extra minute is just so long.
It is a long time. It is a long
Dang.
time. I don't think you realize how long a minute is. I feel like I want to make a point and just do nothing on this podcast for 1 minute. I want people to see how long that is. Isn't it like we would be shut off immediately?
Yeah,
like,
right, like-
people would turn like
Numbers would drop.
but
Just be like, oh, technical difficulty for a minute, and then like come back and
exactly.
yeah,
But just to show you how long a minute is long.
it is.
A minute and a half is even longer. Mm-hmm. And you still get time to establish your lie. So there's all that stuff. So I bet you could take up to 2.5 minutes at this point.
Yeah.
So, but they're allowing it twice around.
That's oh my gosh. I mean, I'm sure there will be some people that won't use them at all, right?
Right.
And then there will be those people, Jacob Gers,
Yes.
Nico, possibly, Gannon. That
Maybe the Burr.
use possibly use both of them.
Right.
You know, that's a lot of extra time.
Well, and it's big moments. Like, I'm sure you're sweating it. You got to step off the disc for some reason or another.
Right.
Okay, take your minute. Like, I think that could have value by adding suspense, right?
Yeah.
But I will say, so for many years I shot trap, and there is what's called taking a bird, and sounds so bad when it's outside of context. So clay pigeon shoot,
Yeah.
and you can drop a bird. So just like it flies out, and you're like, I'm not on it,
Right.
And you just don't shoot.
It's just a pass.
You can just
Yeah.
you can just take the bird, and then they'll pull another one. That is so hard to get back into your mind when you lose a bird like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have a misfire or something like
Sure.
that. It's so hard to get back in the groove. I'm feeling that's going to be the same way.
I could see that.
You know, like you kind of put yourself, or you almost ice yourself.
Yeah. Right.
And what about people using them for those very specific reasons? They know it bothers the people they're playing with, and you're coming down to some sort of pivotal moment.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my time out,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like you're icing a pitcher.
Sure.
Or like in volleyball, like they'll call a timeout if a server's getting hot.
Yeah, but you can't use it like on somebody else.
No.
No,
But if everything, the momentum is going that way,
Yeah, I could. Okay.
and they're getting into pace of play, they're, whatever it may be, you can just call that timeout and just go walk and do something for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And like I said, 60 seconds is a long time. Or like you said, 60 seconds is a long time.
Yeah.
It's a
It is,
long time.
like, I mean, just like at the last tournament, like I was standing on a couple putts, like it was really windy. I'm like, I didn't like quite like time it out in my head how long I was taking.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I feel like I'm taking a long time, but no one's calling me on it.
Yeah.
So
it was probably only like 15, 20 seconds.
yeah, right. That's the thing. And we were kind of like, everybody's kind of giving each other the grace because of wind and stuff. But yeah, it felt like forever.
Yeah, it did. I could imagine how a situation like that would. And especially if you start thinking about it, then it's like even more so.
Yeah.
Man. So I'm excited to see how that works out. But for everybody that's there, you can have 2 timeouts around now.
Yeah.
So, as of January 25th. Not yet.
Yeah.
January 25th, 2025. 60-second timeout per 802.03 excessive time. So there you
Should
go.
give technicals if you, because like I'm just thinking of the Chris Webber situation, like in the NCAA tournament back in like 90, whatever,
where he called
the
too many or something?
timeout, and they used up all their timeouts, so it was a technical, and
Yep.
yeah,
So that'd be pretty neat. I'm excited to see how that's used, though. I mean, hopefully, gamesmanship will allow that to be used in a way that is to their benefit, or maybe even to the detriment of somebody else that they're in competition with. I'm excited to see that. All right. So, one last thing on the excessive time. So, a lot of people, we talk about excessive time. People are like, it always talks about the field of play being without distraction, right?
yeah,
This is where I wish they would take a page out of PGA off of golf. Mm-hmm. Like, those guys are wild. You think about, like, what is that, the 17th green or something like that? Or what's the big one for the FedEx Cup where everyone's just going nuts? Everybody's screaming and yelling, lined with stadium on both sides. It's a really famous
I
hole.
can't think of it. I don't watch enough golf to think of it.
But, like, people get loud. And as soon as you hit a ball, it's like, get in the hole. It's the famous, like, calls and stuff like that. And in walking through, and then you look at all the people that are behind or around or lining the fairways, and they're moving and doing whatever it is. Very, very, very rarely, other than the quiet please, does anybody have anything to say.
The one? Oh, I was thinking of the waste management championship, where like some guys, like, what do? You hit a putt, and everybody threw like beer cans and stuff out on the green.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're the next person that's got to come up after that, like,
Right. Well, and then like the fans, if they hit it into the water, or famously they'll take the ball and throw it into the water on the 18th hole, and the fans come out and run and dive in the water and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of cool things in BDGA or PGA that's starting to happen, that certain things like this just simply won't allow for it. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what this does for the sport, the 60-second timeout. But also, I really think that they should just kind of get rid of that field of play thing. Because if a dude's walking his, I don't know, let's say walking his dog in the park behind one of the baskets, you can technically step off. You're being distracted, right?
yeah,
You can step off and then you get another 30 seconds. Or you call a timeout.
right.
So, actually, does this timeout not allow you to step off now?
Oh, I didn't see.
I wonder if that's the case, because I read through it all and I didn't see.
I thought they did away with that rule, like last year or 2 years ago, where like if the wind rustles or whatever, you're not allowed to do that.
Right.
Like, your time doesn't restart. Like, it doesn't.
That's where
Right.
the field of play came in. Because if
Yeah.
there's a substantial distraction in the field of play, that's where it is. Okay. So,
That's late arrival.
and this does not include bathroom breaks or anything like that. So, the one thing to indicate or to really point out, though, too, is that has to be noted on a scorecard. And if the player reestablishes his lie within that time period in less than 60 seconds, if he establishes his lie and says, hey, I'm going to go ahead and putt, at that point, he has 30 seconds. So there you go. So you can take 30 seconds to establish your lie.
Yep.
And then at 30 seconds, you go, timeout. And then you wait the full minute and establish your lie. You have another 30 seconds before you need to throw.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Jeez. So ridiculous.
Yep. So there you go. All right. Tournament officials. Oh, excuse me. 1.12. And it's use of video
I just saw that.
in tournaments. So now you have never been able to do this. Take video or pictures for rules violations. Now, video or picture is eligible to be used only by tournament officials and tournament directors.
Crazy.
So if someone walks up to a tournament official, a tournament director, and says, hey, check this out, shows you a picture, you can get a violation for a picture or video that was taken of you. So
Who's allowed to submit this?
any person in the tournament. Actually,
Okay, so it can't be somebody outside. It can't be like a fan, or anybody can't go up to a TD and be like, hey, I saw this happen to so and so.
yes, I think that's very correct.
Okay.
So it says regulated areas, drop zones. This is to clarify the marking. Okay, making rules related to player misconduct.
It says
By anyone present
yeah.
who witnessed the misconduct. Evidence of player misconduct may also be evaluated at any time by the PDGA. So, no, it looks like anybody can submit it in the case of player misconduct.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty crazy. So, that means if you are a spectator and you see, let's pick on Eric Oakley because he's the one that's most recent for something like this.
Yeah, right.
So, let's say Eric Oakley's doing Eric Oakley things, according to Eric Oakley.
Yeah.
And some random fan on the side takes a video of it and then goes to show it to TD.
Yeah.
Now the TD, by all measures of the rule, is required to take action.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So,
Well, and I'm guessing in most cases on like the Pro Tour, the TD probably is watching Disc Golf Network.
I would assume.
So, I mean, if they see anything there, obviously they can rewind, watch it, whatever. Obviously, they're not going to have everybody on camera, but for, select cards.
Is that a hornet's nest being opened?
A little
Or being
bit.
kicked a little bit?
Yeah.
Because everybody has their phones out. Mm-hmm. And if there's any little dumb thing, that's going to constantly be done. Now, it's up to the tournament director's discretion to decide whether it is a violation or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But I feel like it's just going to open up a can of worms.
Although there are a couple tournaments that do ask people not to bring their phones in because of cellular signal, like Blackwoods and
sure,
some of those other places.
Northwoods Black,
yeah.
and then do you think people really care?
No.
No.
I mean, they'll bring them. They'll just turn off their Wi-Fi, their
Right.
cellular signal or whatever.
Yeah. There'll still be video.
Yeah.
I mean, I that's what you're there for, And in today's day and age, like all record of humanity is kept on digital devices.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Totally.
So that's neat. I don't know if I like it though.
Yeah. I don't
Is
know
that
either.
a positive or like?
I feel like if you're somebody who's not a fan of somebody, you could really screw them out of like,
I agree.
a very spiteful thing that something could happen.
Right. I agree. And in the same regard, pictures of, OB line, blah, 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 those can all be taken from a different frame.
Yep.
And it can look like something completely different. I mean, It's
Right.
like, what was that? The famous blue or green dress or whatever it was.
Yeah. It was
that
gold.
blue?
Yes. Or black and like gold or something like
Yeah.
like people are like, oh no, it's black. No, it's like this color. But like,
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like two completely opposite colors, but I don't know how that happened. But it's the
Yeah.
same thing. And it's like, is this disc in or out? You take it from one angle and it looks in. You take it from another angle, it looks out.
Yeah.
You know, so where's a reference point for stuff like that?
That happened. So like at the Fall Classic, that happened to me. I had just crossed OB on crossed OB on 13, and I came down. Did I hit a branch? I forgot what the deal was. Or no, I rolled up and I hit a branch on the ground and my disc came down. I had the nose of it just on the line, the OB line, but it wasn't painted or anything. It was just the flags.
Right.
And so one flag was like going like this, another flag was going like weird. So we were kind of like lining it up. I got the benefit of the doubt being in bounds.
Yeah, and that's how it should go.
So, but yeah, like it would have been, because even then, like without a clear line, like I couldn't take like a top down picture because there's no line. So like can't see.
No. Yeah. And that's the hard stuff that will come into question a lot more, because there will be a lot of people, well, let's just take a picture and ask. Like,
yeah,
you know, not the nature of what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be really controversial, really hard stuff to decide, because all those things are still in place. You know, benefit of the doubt. Like, if you throw a disc and no one's around the disc to see it, whether it crosses the OB line or not, but the majority of the players on the card are like, yeah, I didn't see it, but it sure did look like it.
Yeah.
Then it went in.
Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of the same thing. So we're going to see a lot of that, a lot more calls being less friendly towards players, I bet.
I would think so.
Because of that reason. So it's weird. You know, violations are never comfortable to deal with, ever.
No.
You know, there's instances, and I'm not going to get too much details, but there's instances where TDs have to do those hard things based on the book itself. And some of them are very easy, cut and dry, like, okay, this is what it is. You got to go.
Yeah.
But there's other times where you're like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, is this something we should really have to deal with? Or is this something that just somebody's pissed off about because of, or whatever it may be? Or, you know, if like someone's smoking,
Yeah.
you know, was he far enough away from everybody else? Like by the designated bathroom areas?
Right.
Or, you know, like, so it's a weird stuff. And I don't know if that's allowed anymore, even in the PDGA, but it's just those weird things. But this is nice with the use of video. Now you know, like,
Yeah, right.
but at what angle, you know, and what's the perspective? So there you go. We are now getting closer to the PGA in that regard. And last but certainly not least is the requirement of a restroom at a C tier. So here is a C tier and above. So here's the thing. That was kind of recommended anyways, so it's kind of been in action for the last year. What's a restroom? Oh, I'm serious. Like, is it just a porta potty? Or do you
Right.
need to require sink and, you know, all that stuff?
Right.
Because if that's the case, it's going to get really expensive really quick.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to really limit some tournaments.
Yeah.
I think it will anyways. Like some of these fun little C tiers that are done at these random county parks or, you know, wherever they are.
Yeah.
That are just held for fun. I think people are just going to opt to go non-sanctioned. And porta potties, for the most part, I mean, they're pretty reasonable, and you can pass on. Those are all parts of the cost of tournament that can be passed on through player fees
Sure.
and their cost of doing business for the tournament, but they're not exactly cheap. 'Cause there's
Right.
a delivery fee, a dumping fee, and then the rental fee. So like for us up here, now it's different up here because everything's more expensive up here. It's like $185 for a weekend for one porta potty.
Jeez.
It's expensive.
That
It's
is.
expensive. So, you know, it's more expense, and they're not doing anything to level out those expenses for TDs. You know, all you're doing is passing them on through the players, and now it's less of a pot that the players are getting paid out. You know, so it's weird. It's weird. Like these requirements are happening. They want us to pay more and offer more, but those two things, they can't go up at the same time because that's not going to happen. You know, like we can't pay as much and offer as much because then there's no discrepancy between what the payouts are anymore. You know, payouts are going to basically stand level, because if I pay $65 for a tournament and my expenses went up $10, that's great. I'm charging $65. That doesn't mean I can give more money because there's more expenses now there, so it's really going to level out those payouts. So that's my only complaint about it, is the requirements of bathrooms. But the requirement of bathroom is really important to the FPO field
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and to some men.
Yeah.
Because there's those points after a cup of coffee,
Oh yeah.
stuff comes out certain directions. It's just the way it goes.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah. So, but now it is a requirement of every C tier. So keep that in mind. So if we're at a C tier and it doesn't have bathrooms, those TDs can get a violation. I think that is basically it. There's a couple other little things. Tournament directors can now determine the division of non-PDGA members. They can just place you in a division.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
before they could just pick wherever and you had no bias to stand by, but now it basically gives the tournament directors the ability to place them in whatever based on their knowledge and any demonstrated skills or abilities that these people possess. So,
Okay.
and they also talk about true amateur trophy only tournaments, that if you are doing a player pack, there are requirements for the player pack now, and there are requirements for how many trophies per how many people are playing.
Okay.
So like one player, no trophy required. I don't know if these are kind of already there as a suggestion, but
Yeah.
they've really outlined them out. 2 to 4 players, you have to get a trophy for first place. 5 to 12 players, first and second place. 12 or over, 13 or over, you have to go through third place.
Got it. Okay.
So, yeah, pretty simple. And then, required restrooms. And then really they're just going to do a manual restructuring. So they're going to kind of move some stuff around. And then there's some little minor changes. There are like some match play and enforcement issues about apparel and provisionals and appealing provisionals and order a play at a drop zone, blah, blah, blah. Just little goofy things like that. And all they are just essentially they're either striking words or making words more clear or making the rules more clear by removing or adding just a few statements.
Okay.
So the essence of the rule doesn't change, just how it's said. So there you go. That's all the rules changes for 2025 that are coming up. So what do we want to get into now?
I don't know.
Want to talk players?
Sure.
right.
Sure.
Let's do players.
All right. Shoot, Reddit, where'd you go? Okay. Justin. Okay, so first one that I saw was Conor O'Reilly, who signed last year with Lone Star.
And Lone Star famously only does 1-year contracts.
They do. He has announced that he's officially a free agent, and before that, he was with LAT.
That's 64.
Yes. Yeah. And so I was just kind of looking over his PDGA season this past year, and not great.
No.
He had a couple. Let's see, DGPT events. Yeah, I think his high was 28th. Is that right? Gosh, yeah. I mean, he after leaving, just not a quality. Yeah, at the Preserve, he got 28th, and then at a Q Series, he got 7th.
Okay. Okay.
So I mean, just kind of a lackluster year. I mean, he did cash about 8 times during the year. I mean, some of those weren't, there's like a couple 8 years in there and stuff. But I mean, if I could see that because of a disappointing season with Lone Star, that you'd probably decide to jump ship.
Right. Exactly. Well, and who knows how they feel, or even what Lone Star's planning on doing, because
Yeah.
I haven't seen essentially no news or hype about Lone Star at all.
I really haven't
they just
either.
kind of like gone.
Yeah. I know they've come out with a couple discs here and there. It was really weird. Like even on their I'm in a Lone Star group on Facebook, and something popped up today that was really odd to me. It was a distributor, not Lone Star, but like somewhere else. They're like, oh, we're discontinuing to sell, so they're having a big sale on Lone Star.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was like more of like a local, not like anybody big, but like a shop
Right.
somewhere that's like, yeah, we're just not. So we're trying to
Just get
offload.
rid of it all.
Yeah,
Like we did with Prodigy for a while.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So he said, you know, the 2024 season was rocky, never quite made full stride, and was frustrating to say the least, knowing the skills and abilities I possess and how much I have to put in this game. Coming up short is tough to swallow, but knowing the resilience and determination I have I've shown it. Sorry, could only harden my thought. With that being said, I will no longer be representing Lone Star. They have shown me nothing but support and respect, yada, yada. And then I'm officially a free agent. What would you like to see me throw? Tag your favorite companies in the comments.
Oh,
So,
that's pretty smart.
yeah. I am just curious. This came up on, I think, they were talking about this on some other podcast. But the number of pros this year that may just not get manufacturer sponsorships and just go open bag and get whatever multiple sponsorships they can get, whatever. I could see a lot more people doing that. Just throwing what you like and
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of
know.
made mention to that the last podcast. And that's what I think too, because I think state of disc golf is less. So I think manufacturers will contribute to that by not offering as lucrative of deals, right? Contracts. But also on the other side, I think they have seen quite a few players go open bag and be pretty successful with it. And essentially what that does is maybe it eats into your travel budget.
yeah.
Maybe it eats into your, obviously, your tournament fees. But if you run a bonus structure with multiple companies and just say, hey, I'll use your discs, I'll use this, and this disc. And if I win, this is what you give me. You don't owe me anything unless I win.
Sure.
And I'll give you a call out. Like I'll wear your gear, I'll do whatever it is. So I think, I think it's a more viable way for disc golfers that are not within the elite range to tour. But I do think that we're going to see a drop off on the touring players as well. Like just simply, they're just not going to tour. You know, I think we've seen a few people do that where they come back onto tour and then they disappear again.
Right.
You know, I'm trying to think of one that's famously done that. Who was the guy from Cali that did it recently? He was Innova for a long, long time, and then he went over to where did he go? Discraft. He was Innova forever, and then he went to Discraft. Kind of a not a well-known name, pretty regional.
Okay.
W last
Wiggins. No.
name. No, Withers.
Scott Withers. Yeah.
So he was kind of one of those guys that did that.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that's going to kind of be the thing. He's going to come onto the scene. I'm going to go full tour. Does it for 1 year. Is like, I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of how it went.
Yeah.
So I think that might be what we'll see a lot more of. And then we'll see the shinings of new, fun, exciting elite players, and they'll stay on tour. But outside of that, I just don't think manufacturers are going to put that type of money into people,
Right.
you know, on the manufacturer side.
Yeah.
So, and you sound like you were kind of coming from the player's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think that makes it more appealing for the players?
It just allows them to maybe try things, right? Like try discs, decide what they like, and maybe that way they can go reach out to a manufacturer and see if they'd be interested in sponsoring them instead of having the manufacturer approach them, and you can just kind of like state your case.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because like for Connor, obviously he didn't have a great season, like he said, but he's had success kind of in the past, like not great success, but he's been successful in the past. Like he's
Right.
won a tournament and done fairly decent when he was with Latitude. So like you could be like, well, I have done well.
Right.
And then maybe you can negotiate not like a full contract, but some kind of like partial contract for,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm excited to see the type of contracts that come out if they make them public. Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
But I think the creativity that's going to come from the state of disc golf right
Right,
now,
yeah.
I think is going to be pretty exciting.
Well, because I think, you know, too, with the like people on ThoughtSpace, Infinite, like those kinds of companies where you're getting like 3 or 4 people coming in, you know, Clash, you know, they're like, yeah, we'll sign you or whatever. And then
Yeah.
you're kind of like subsidized by like 3 companies instead of 1. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because it's let's go PGA again.
Yeah.
That's very similar. Like PGA's like, I'll use your putter, I'll use your driver, I'll use your wedges,
Sure.
I'll use your irons.
Yeah.
Or yeah, that sounds right. I think that's all of them. And that's what they'll do. They'll do manufacturers like, I'll wear your hat, your shoes, your pants, you know. So it's pretty neat. Could they go like NASCAR or basketball, like where, you know, they start putting logos on their bodies
right.
as advertisement,
Holly Finley
right?
famously was like looking for sponsors in that same vein. She's like, she was trying to get money for her tour. However, it was this past year or the year before. She's like, hey, if you're willing to sponsor me this much money, I'll put your logo on my shirt and everything and
Right.
wear it.
Yep.
Paige Pierce had, what was that bar that everybody was eating for a long time?
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird.
Right.
I don't know whatever happened to them. I don't know if she's still sponsored by them or whatever.
They're
But-
still a company, but I don't
yeah,
know about,
I don't know. Because she would have, I noticed her logo, that logo on her shirt, you know,
Yeah.
when she was, you know, up to T.
Yeah.
So,
Remember when Paul Macbeth used to carry around Celsius's all the time?
Oh, yeah.
And he was sponsored by them for
Yeah.
a bit. I don't know. Was that an influencer sponsor or was that truly like a play sponsor?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
That is
But
interesting.
Yeah. I think that is probably going to be the direction that a lot of people go. Like, I'll wear your if you,
Sure.
you know, pay
Yeah.
30% of my. They got to be inventive. Like, they cannot continue to do what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Brody Smith on Tour Life, or maybe it was Yuli, one of them brought up the fact that disc golf doesn't get as much traction as other sports. Now, disc golf has just perpetually grown for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
But it doesn't grow as fast as other sports on the curve, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And he brought up a point that I was like, you know, I never thought about it that way. But he said, when the pros that show up to most other sports show up in jets, they're gated, they're guarded, they're security, and they're hard to get to. They're hard to access.
Yeah. Right.
And they pull up in their $1 million cars. They do all these things, right? Disc golf, like, they're camping in hammocks and, like,
Yeah.
sleeping in their vans.
Yeah. Right.
And there's no security. There's no, like, they're so accessible. And he says that's what kind of takes the allure away from it because there's no want for young people to look at that and go, man, I want that life. No, they're looking at it going, is that guy that lives in the van down by the river? You know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No, totally.
That's our
But
pinnacle pros.
Right. Yeah. But to people, like, it could be appealing. Like the freedom of being out, like, on your own.
Yes. But when you
I know
ask
what
a
you're saying.
kid
You're not
what
seeing
they
Paul
wanted,
Macbeth like roll up in his McLaren
exactly
like, to tournaments.
and why not? Why isn't he? Why isn't he like one up in everybody? Like pulling up in that thing and being like, yeah.
Right.
Although he'd have to have a trailer behind it for his disc golf bag because it's not big enough. But why not? Like, why not flaunt that? Why not show people that through disc golf that stuff is possible?
Sure.
And I think for the most part, disc golf is a humble sport, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the nature of it. If he pulled up, he'd be ostracized. You know, like people know he has it,
Well, right.
but has he ever even done a video on it? Like way back in the day.
Right. Yeah. There's a video of Sexton, I think,
That's
was
right.
trying to drive it or something. And I've seen it. I think Simon, there's a video like Simon's at Paul's house or something. I think he
Yeah.
had it then. And then Paul talked about having to move it, I think, when they were moving and
Yes.
some other things like that. Yeah. But
Yeah, and he talks about like how impractical it was where they lived because of the snow. Like if there's any sort of snow and they
Right.
lived on a hill.
yeah.
But why is he not like, look what this did for me? Like, look what disc golf did for me, you know? And I know it's a humility thing, but does that attract, like, I mean, every other person in any sort of sports era, like, they don't care about stuff like that. Like,
Well, how many, but like people outside the sport, how many people are, that's the thing that's like, you see, like, if you're somebody from outside the sport and you see all these people in vans, and you can point to him and be like, yeah, he has McLaren from disc golf. Like,
Yes.
you know, like,
Right.
he's done that.
yep. But it's so much easier to watch a guy pull up in that thing and then the wing opens up and then you like scoot out all awkwardly because they're really hard to get out of. Other than going, oh yeah, you see the guy that just got an RV?
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a
Right.
McLaren. You're like, sure he does.
Yeah,
You know?
right. Unless he's trailing it behind it. You know?
Exactly. He
Yeah.
makes $1 million a year. Sure he does. You know,
Yeah.
like.
Well,
so-
I think too about how many, obviously, like Dylan Cease, right? Like he's a big, you know, baseball
League pitcher,
Major
yeah.
League pitcher. He just bought into Brixton. He's
Oh, I didn't know he bought into Brixton.
Yeah, he's part owner now of Brixton.
Oh, is that what this craze is about Brixton? Because we have a lot of people asking about Brixton.
I don't know. Like I bought some Brixton cards last year. I bought a
okay.
box. I know Mike Harrington's super into them.
He is,
He does like unboxings. And
Shout out to him. He's the one that kind of got us connected with Brixton.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's into them. Because there's also like the Disc Golf Pro Tour cards and stuff as well. But yeah, Dylan Cease bought into them. Because like I'm just thinking, you know, some of these bigger athletes now are buying into smaller sports. Like LeBron like bought into pickleball, and he's bought into like English Premier League soccer. Like that's huge because it's like one of the biggest leagues in the world. But like he's a minority owner in a Premier League team. Like same with these other people.
Yeah.
It'd just be interesting to see somebody like Dylan. Like
Hold on. Minority because he's black or minority
no
because.
small share.
Oh, sorry. I was like, did they really label him a minority owner?
No, like he's part of it. Okay, so there's a it's like called the Fenway Group or something. So he's bought in, and he's a. I know it sucks because he's black and he's a minority owner. Like
minority owner?
yeah. No, so smaller share in the group because
Okay.
he essentially has like a smaller part of that and the Red Sox and like so I think that would be like if you can get that outside interest from other people to buy into like the tour or something like
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yeah. I think that's good. I mean, for the people that have it, they should show it because there is whether we like it or not, there is a contingent of society, and it's a pretty darn large contingent of society that doesn't want to do something if you can't be successful.
Right.
Hence why we have a shortage of plumbers and HVAC and electricians. And, these guys make bank, but it's a dirty job.
Yeah.
And I'm not going Mike Rowe here. I'm not like going to go crazy. But, those are the things that there's nothing glamorous or fancy. You don't have the BMW and the big mansion and like,
Yeah.
you got a service truck, and that's kind of what I equate disc golf to. Like, disc golf is the service truck of sports.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing fancy or crazy about it because nobody does. But then again, who could? Like Sexton bought the Rivian. Simon bought that really nice Volvo, right?
Volvo or BMW or something like that.
And there's somebody has a Porsche. She doesn't mention it much, but there's somebody
Some woman. Yeah.
there's somebody out there that has a Porsche. I wish I could remember her name. It's hard.
Blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was brunette too, though.
Yeah,
Right?
it depends on the season. Yeah.
You know, so Tatar has her Porsche, you know, and so there's guys that have good stuff, and I'm sure Ricky has a pretty nice car.
I would guess.
I would assume. I don't know. Maybe not.
I bet.
Oh, almost hamstring cramp.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thought you got bit by the beetle too.
No.
No. I could see Drew Gibson maybe.
Yeah, Drew would be a.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I know Yuli has a nice car too.
Sure.
You know, there's a couple. So, anyways, but like, bring him, man. Like,
Yeah.
show it off. Like, show people that you can be successful playing disc golf.
I think their success though is like I can fly into tournaments rather than drive.
True. And then they rent like the Corolla. You know?
Yeah. It's something sensible.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as I have good insurance on it from the
Yeah, exactly. $3.99 a day, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I liked that take, and you know, I think Brody. It was just a good perspective from Brody because he's come from outside, you know,
Right,
and
yeah,
he comes
yeah.
into this and he's like, "This is why." Did you listen to their last episode talking to the old timer?
No, I didn't.
It was really good.
Was
so
it? Okay.
he was a Disc Golf Planet broadcaster.
Oh, really?
And he was like an on scene, like the guy that's whispering.
Yeah.
Next to the- you know.
Okay.
He's like, Macbeth sex up to his lie. You know, it was like that type of guy. And Brody's like, I love this. This is great. And Brody was like starting to get real fired up because the guy was really aligning with him. And then he started going on this whole like protect disc golf and disc golf is sacred. Like, you know, and Brody doesn't get on that vibe. And you could tell the whole motif just like went down for Brody, you know. And then he started asking him about something about the last couple questions he asked where he said something about payouts.
Okay.
And the guy was like against what Brody was like going with because Brody's like, we need more money. And he's like, no, we don't need more money. We need to spread it out more. And he's like, no, we need to pay the top guys more. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, no, we need to give more money across the board to everybody. And we're like, and it was funny to watch listen to the dynamic.
That argument's been made a couple times across a couple like places I've seen for sure. Like, because that way you can sustain the tour longer by having more pros on it, and
Yeah.
but you do want to pay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think disc golf is I want to be everything to everybody, and everybody should have the same abilities to be successful, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind that idea,
Sure.
but I think it's utopic.
Right.
I don't think it's feasible because what you're doing is you're just kind of holding back the people that could really make the sport grow.
Yeah.
You know, those
Yeah.
mentalities and those attitudes because you put, let's face it, whether you like the guy or not, you put $30,000 in Drew Gibson's hand compared to some other mute, like non-confrontational person. Drew Gibson is going to do so much better with that $30,000 than that mute non-confrontational person will, right? Because he's going to start to flaunt it and show it off and do things like, hey, look at me, this is what I'm doing. The other people aren't. So why not narrow that pool, give them more money so that they can do those big, exciting things?
Sure.
You know, be the guy at the press conference that's calling out other people, you know?
Yeah.
Like that type of stuff. So,
Right.
But that's just a hope and a dream. I still am waiting for full contact. You get a timeout, but in that 60 seconds, you better watch your back.
That was something I grip locked the other day, actually, when I was listening to them. They're like, what were things that you wanted to bring from other sports into disc golf?
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
yeah, and I forgot what some of them were. Someone said like,
I haven't listened to Grip Lock in forever.
yeah. I listen to it occasionally, and I just happened to listen to it the other day, and yeah, that was one of the things. They're like, oh, we need Taylor Swift, or something like that.
Or
like,
she needs to date someone.
yeah. Some high profile celebrity needs to come in and start
Yes.
dating somebody in disc golf.
Yeah.
Could you? That,
What about P. Diddy? Could P. Diddy be involved? Is
absolute worst person you could ask for?
he's bringing a lot of attention.
I mean, yeah, a lot of unwanted attention.
I was just saying, there's a lot of celebrities that were kind of under the limelight. They're coming back up. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
that would be. I mean, it'd be crazy to see like If like Sydney Sweeney started, I mean, she's getting married or whatever, but like you see someone like her start dating a disc golfer and be like,
I know.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Who's the like Megan Fox? Who's a hot guy?
Chalamet or someone, Timothy Chalamet. Like,
Who's Timothy Chalamet?
he's in Dune.
Oh, yeah. Is he the main guy?
Paul, yeah.
Paul, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess he's a hot guy.
People think he is, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or
It's
like
not my
Ryan
style.
Reynolds or like
Okay, Ryan Reynolds. For it, man crush.
Yeah.
I'd be more for the burly guys.
Okay.
Like, I'd want like a man with muscle. That guy doesn't seem like he has that much muscle.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably like Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Something like
there
that.
You go.
Yeah,
there you
okay.
go. All right. See,
Yeah.
you're working on that side. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people like that would be fun to see in there. Or, I mean, even just like, do you know who Matt Rife is?
Yes.
The comedian. Dude, if he could get involved in some way, shape, or form, I think it'd be hilarious
Or like
because I
Theo.
know he would. Oh yeah, because I know they would absolutely trash the sport,
See,
but
I think
in a
Bert
really
needs
fun
to,
way.
Bert needs to come around more.
Yes, agreed, 100%. Bert Kreischer, right?
Yeah.
the machine.
I mean, he talks about it all, like,
he does,
and so like,
and he's been trying to get Joe Rogan to play it.
oh really?
Yeah, and there was an episode where he tried to convince Joe Rogan, but he's like, "That's stupid." You know, Joe Rogan, how he's just so direct with people. He's like, "That's stupid. I will never do that."
Yeah.
You're like, great, thanks, Joe. So, all right.
Oh, there's one more. So, one purpose. Carter Aarons, who also signed with Lone Star last year,
The young guy came from DD.
came
signed
from
with
DD.
Lone Star.
Also did not have a great season. He is signing with a company or store called Flexline Discs. I think it's somewhere out of the Pacific Northwest because he's from up in that area. Don't know much about him. Don't know if he's still. I haven't seen anything about him on Instagram in a while. So let's just take it.
Flexline Disc Golf is they're in Emporia, Kansas.
Really
Yep.
interesting. So his good old Instagram no longer has Lone Star. So this Flexline Discs, are they a must be online retail, like some kind of retailer? Oh,
Yeah.
this one says it's from Washington.
Oh, I have Flexline Disc Golf, Emporia, Kansas, and all of their sponsored players are like 200, like PDJ number 2. Oh, they have one, Isaiah Brown.
Okay, because this is a place in Washington where Carter's from. Yeah, Flexline Discs. We're passionate about disc golf and providing players of all skills the highest quality discs on the market. So it looks like he's just kind of going the
Oh yeah, there's a Flexline
store
disc
route.
Flexline Disc Golf. Yeah, there you go.
interesting.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, Door Disc is looking for a pro. That would be pretty cool.
So it looks like Chandler Fry is also one of their sponsors.
Okay. Oh, Team Flexline. There you go. So yeah. Okay. Flexline.
Cole Barnett. I don't know. But yeah, interesting that he decided also after a year to drop.
Yeah.
So really, Lone Star only has Nico and the carries, like AJ and Deanne.
And what did Nico do? I haven't even seen Nico or heard of Nico.
Yeah, I really haven't either.
I mean, I saw him like sideline when he was caddying for Cat, but
Yeah.
that was it. Yeah, that's neat. But and that's something else to look forward to. We are going to open up applications now for Door Disc.
Oh, really?
The team. Yep. So we're putting together what we feel is going to be an appropriate expectation, and then we're going to open up applications. So we're hoping to kind of pick the team in June, and we're not going for a big team, maybe 10 to 12 at most.
Okay.
So, yeah. So if you know anybody, have them keep an eye out on the site.
Nico just placed 5th at Myrtle Beach Open, but other than that, 6th at a Q Series. He was in the teens a couple times. Nothing major. 20s, 40s, yeah. not that big, great. Well, decent season, I guess, but nothing outstanding like he was last year. I think last year he placed pretty well.
Yeah. Well, and to be real, he gets a lot of attention for his attitude.
Oh yeah,
Not really for his play. I mean,
Right.
he's a great player.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
his attitude gets more attention than that. So
True.
Last thing I want to ask about is the Disc Golf World's team event. Is
Yeah.
going on currently.
It just ended.
Just ended. Okay.
Yes.
Like today.
Yeah, the
right?
whiff diff event down in it was in Australia.
Yeah, it was
I
in
believe.
Australia.
Yeah,
There was no American team.
there was an American team.
There was? Okay.
They placed 6th.
This must not be pros then.
Not a lot of pros.
Okay.
No, because it was interesting. There's a Facebook post about something. I don't know if it's the PDGA page or some other disc golf thing.
6. What 5 countries beat them?
Estonia
Oh, okay.
first, back to back. Shoot, I saw it.
It was like Finland, Sweden.
Norway, yeah.
Okay.
A couple of those. Like Anniken Steen was one of the highest profile people I saw. She was from, with Norway. I think Thomas Gilbert played with Canada.
Okay.
Leeson and Ginny with the US.
Really? Okay.
I didn't get a good look at all the teams. But yeah, like someone asked about it and they're like, what's the deal? Like how USA should be wiping the floor with this, and they're like, a lot of pro players are coming off of tour, finishing up short, and then already like probably just taking some time off, getting ready for the off season. They don't
Yeah.
want to extend themselves anymore, when they're trying to get ready. So
Right.
it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess it does. It does. But it's weird because when I was looking through it, and I did kind of, I won't lie, I was sitting on the toilet when I found out. So I was like, oh, and that was done. So then I stopped.
Yeah.
But yeah, I looked at it, I was like, huh. And it showed Australia and playing for the championship. Estonia?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was Australia and Estonia, I think.
Definitely Estonia. I forgot who the other.
I swore it was Australia.
Okay.
But maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe that was just that they were playing and that was the matchup or whatever.
Yeah,
I
that could
don't
be.
know how it goes, but interesting. I don't know the format. I mean, it seems probably similar to the college world championships.
Could be. I don't know if it's like team to team, like matchups that way. You like face off and it's like you move on that way.
Is it like President's Cup style or something like that?
Yeah,
maybe?
possibly.
Okay. We'll have to do a little more research on it.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
It's kind of neat.
It is like because I know it's been going on for a couple of years. Like, and I've always seen it like come up, but like, yeah, I'm just not up on the format or like what.
Right. Well, and there's really no coverage or really much to do about it. I
Right.
mean, it seems like once the pro season here ends, it's just like everybody turns off disc golf for a while.
Kind of true. Yeah, like Jomez has the putting game back. I just watched that the other day. That was kind of fun. It was at that Flying Armadillo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool.
That's cool. I haven't watched those yet.
Yeah.
But I will.
So let's see. Estonians were undefeated through the which featured match play in doubles, mixed doubles, and singles.
Oh, so it's very similar to college.
Yeah. Let's see. Estonia claimed an 8-0 record in the gold medal match, uprooting the Aussie team. So you were right. They did face off against Australia. Wild.
Wild. That is amazing.
Okay.
All right. So one last one. to-
Final standings. Yeah. US or Estonia, Australia, Canada, Norway, Czech Republic, US. There's 23 total teams. That's crazy. Austria, New Zealand, Finland, Germany, France, Slovakia, Japan, Great Britain, Netherlands, Croatia, Lithuania, Latvia, China, Hong Kong, Italy, Singapore, and Thailand.
Nice.
Crazy. Yeah. Oh, Albert Tom. Yep. He was on Team Estonia. Looks like KT Tati.
So they got like their highest profile players for the most part. Okay.
Yeah. No Kristen, obviously.
Yeah. Well, she was too busy driving a Porsche.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard, but she has a Porsche.
So I've heard.
Okay. Just wanted to make
I've
sure.
seen that many.
I feel like that's going to be.
Way to rub it in the face of your followers.
I know. Exactly.
Hey, all you guys, if you got if you got a chance, I would suggest you pick up one of these.
And hey, I mean, if you guys have enough money, you probably don't, but I know a Porsche dealer that you can go through.
What if she gets any kickback?
I bet you she does.
Yeah, like
I mean,
if-
everybody does. Like, you get successful and people get pissed off. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, you can't just be like, good job. Like, no, you're gonna be like, you can know how many people can eat for the cost of that. Like, what are they gonna eat? The Porsche? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I get the merit behind it, but God, just be happy for people sometimes. All right. Speaking of being happy for people, Venom Last Dance. Have you seen it yet?
No,
Are you gonna see it?
I don't know if I will.
Why?
I haven't seen either of the other two movies.
Dude, have you not seen their dynamic? It's so good.
Okay.
It's so good.
I've seen clips of it here and there just from like scrolling on stuff.
It's really good. Like, this one's a little bit because it's like a feuding couple a bit.
Okay.
So it's pretty good.
Feuding couple.
It's pretty good. It surprises me. Rotten Tomato only give 41%. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Like, I thought it was really
I've
good.
heard that from other people. Like, people are like, you really just need to give the movie a chance.
Yeah.
Like, and see it on your own. Don't rely on, critic reviews.
Right. I would agree with that. I
Okay.
would it's good. Because, you like getting stuff like The Wild Robot, 98%, which is that new animated one where the robot gets lost in the wild and is raised by all the wild
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
which is kind of cool. My kids will probably love that. But, anyways. But like Beetlejuice, 76%.
That's probably certified fresh.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But I'm just trying to, I'm like, how is that rated higher than, like, that much higher than Venom Last Dance? Maybe it's the sad feelings that Venom leaves you with.
Maybe.
Maybe.
No spoiler.
I'm not spoiling anything,
Okay.
but it is called The Last Dance. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, the title did it.
Yeah.
Marvel. Marvel.
right.
Yeah. Why'd you do that? You ruined it in the title. Maybe they should have called it Venom. Spoiler alert. Last Dance.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Because that's what everybody wants. Spoiler alert. All right. Anything else?
No, my back's killing me.
How was your wife on the DC trip?
Oh, good. A lot of walking.
Up.
A lot of days just packed full of stuff. Like, yeah. I mean, she said she enjoyed it. She'd go back.
Wow, brave woman.
Yeah. She's like, well, when Maisie goes in 4 years, you should go. I was like, well, yeah. I was the first class to go.
You were? Mm-hmm. Wow.
And we didn't do half as much of stuff as they did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, our days were pretty full. I think
Did you guys take a plane or a bus?
we flew. We got stranded in Detroit for 10 hours.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Snowstorm or something?
I don't remember. Something mechanical with the plane, I think.
I'd rather be stranded.
Yeah. And so at that point, you're like, well, can you get a tour bus and like almost drive there?
Yeah.
'Cause, from Detroit to Washington, D.C., I don't know how long it would take, but yeah. So like
Less than 10 hours.
maybe, yeah. So like our itinerary got cut short, but we did quite a few of the things that like we went to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, like
Dude, what a cool place.
yeah,
What a cool
like
place.
Arlington, Washington Monument,
Lincoln Memorial. all
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I mean, I think they definitely went to a lot more like museums and things. Like we went to the Smithsonian, but they went to like the Military Museum, the Spy
Yeah.
Museum.
She was
They
saying
went all the way
she
to
went-
Virginia. They went to Yorktown, Williamsburg, Jamestown, like
Yeah.
all those places. I've been there before because my parents had took me when I was much younger. But yeah, like they probably should have gone to like West Point,
Right.
Go check out the Naval Academy, like
Yeah,
that. They went to
Annapolis.
UVA, just like walk around the campus of University of Virginia, which I thought sounded
Yeah.
kind of cool.
And I guess they did Georgetown as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Or George Mason or Georgetown, whichever
Yeah, something
one it
like
was.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did. And yeah, it was pretty neat. So Gabby was on that trip and she said she really liked it, but she said it was the same thing. They got up at like 6 or 7 in the morning, and they usually didn't get back to the hotel room probably till what, 9:30 or 10 or something like that.
It was like 12-hour days of
Yeah.
just cruising
Go.
around, walking. Yeah,
That's incredible.
And not to mention, first day they left at 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
Got to DC at 9 and just like tour bus and
Yeah.
like, all right,
We're
here we go.
going.
Yeah.
So she said her favorite yet not favorite yet most, like, the thing that stood out the most was the Holocaust Museum.
And that was one of the first places they went.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said they didn't, there was no time limit in the Holocaust Museum, I guess they said. They said
okay.
just stay there, and whenever you're ready, like, then we can, when
Got it.
everybody starts getting ready, then we'll go.
Yeah.
And Gabby said it was, like, impactful, like
for
crazy.
sure.
And I was like, those are one of those moments in history never forget. Like, we have to play those things over and over and over again. So hopefully they never happen again, right?
Yeah.
And she's just like, I've heard about it, but I didn't realize they did that stuff. And she showed a picture of like this memorial, but it was just all the shoes. Yeah. And it's not even close to all the shoes. It was just from, this one little. Yeah. I'm just like, just think about that. Every 2 shoes is a person. That's just because.
Yeah. Right.
Just because of bad choices by human. But yeah, so she liked that. And then, of course, Lululemon and the mall was one of the big ones she liked.
Alyssa brought that up to me today. She's like, people freaked out over Lululemon.
Yes.
I was like, what? I don't get it.
I don't know. I wish I had a brand that I could just put some random logo on and people would pay 150% more for it.
Right.
Like, can we do that within discs? Like, is there something we can do within discs? Like, can we put like I don't know, like Bobo Orange and
That's
slap
what
it on
Nico
the
tried
disc?
to do.
What was his?
I don't know. He's got like all the sage and like all those things, and it smells
Sacred,
like
right?
sacred discs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he puts all the herbs or whatever.
Yeah.
into it.
Although Supreme Flight is coming back.
It is coming back.
It is coming back. That's big news in disc golf.
It is. Supreme Flight, Paul's clothing company.
Yeah.
Dylan.
But I guess they're also doing disc sisses.
Oh.
They're going to do that as well. They'll be obviously Discraft.
Right. But Supreme Flight branded. Yeah. That kind of makes me wonder, now that you bring that up, like there's other disc golf companies, like clothing companies that like whatever happened to like VII. Okay.
Yeah,
They
Seven
made
or
like the
whatever.
jerseys and stuff.
So they're still around, and they're the official apparel of Disc Golf Pro Tour. Disc Golf Pro
that's
Tour owned
okay.
them, remember?
I think they changed their
bought
name
them
though or something.
Yes.
I forgot what it is, but okay, that makes sense.
And then there was Black Ace Gear,
Yeah.
which they had all the cool hoodies and stuff
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
they're kind of still around.
And what was the other one? The pants. Remember the disc golf pants? It had the putter pocket on the pant.
Dude.
Dude pants.
They were from
Dude apparel.
Australia, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dude Apparel. Oh.
Yeah, I forgot about Dude. I wonder if they still exist.
I don't know.
And if not, do those patents exist?
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling there's a factory in China that can make them really cheap.
Yeah, there's a company out of Wisconsin too. I remember I forgot what their name. They had a sweatshirt, but you could like put your disc inside to hide it.
That's Black Ace Gear.
Is it?
Yeah, I had one. I have one. It's
Okay.
like and you could like and then
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
But there's also, was it MIDI?
That's the one.
MIDI. Yeah, that's not Black Ace Gear.
No, but yeah, MIDI. That's
But
the
MIDI's
company.
no Moss anymore either.
Oh,
I
got
talked
it.
to Ryan about it because I thought MIDI was like his sponsor for a little while.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Okay.
And side note, Ryan, Caddy Disc Golf. So this is disc golf related adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
He has his own fingerboard line.
No way.
He just started it. I promise you.
Are you serious?
Yes. And he is
Wow.
really freaking good
Okay.
at fingerboarding.
I saw him.
I know
he
that
had
sounds really
he had a
strange,
couple
but-
of videos one day of him like doing stuff.
Dude, he's good.
Okay. Well, I watched clips of a fingerboard competition. And they have like, rails and like all these things. And it was like they were doing lines and then there was like a skate battle.
Like skate lines, not the other lines.
Just
Just to clarify.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch this. It's
Yeah.
on YouTube. Don't sneeze.
Nope. And so it's like people are like, okay, I'm doing this grind or I'm doing this flip trick or whatever, and it was a battle of skate. Like one person would nail a trick and the other person had to try to do it. And like the finger dexterity.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the stuff he can do, I'm watching this thing and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I remember trying those things when I was younger,
Yeah.
and even like Malachi will play with them now and try them. I'll put my thumb underneath it and like, ooh,
Yeah, right.
you know, like pick it up basically.
You know what's really funny? So today the girls were like just getting out of their baths and showers and everything, and they were like running around the house singing this song. I'm like, something about Hot Wheels. I was like, what the heck? They're like, oh, well, like we were at Moremore's house and we saw this thing. It's like Tony Hawk kind of thing. I'm like, what? They're like, Hot Wheels has their own brand of like skate decks like that.
Oh, really?
And apparently, like, it has shoes for your fingers.
I have seen that.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
I'm like,
accessories.
what the heck?
Yeah.
Wild. That's cool.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, Ryan has his own little like skate line.
Right on.
His own little fingerboard line.
Like
It's
he's
cool.
making them or like sponsored? Or-
Yeah,
or
kind of
what?
like a Thought Space.
Okay.
Kind of what he's doing.
Sure.
So he has a very like particular audience he's going for. He wants
Yeah.
to make it affordable because like he was telling me that some of these decks and stuff are like $100 and some. And I'm like, you
What?
can buy a skateboard for that. And he's like, yeah. He goes, but these are fingerboards. That's not what he's selling.
Right.
But, yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you
was-
can get like a regular skateboard for like $120.
Yeah. Well, he was
maybe,
showing
or
me just
something
like
that.
these trucks, you know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
microscopic
They're
trucks.
tiny.
And they're like $40 a set. And I was like, oh my goodness. But bushings, like
Come on, okay,
everything.
all right.
Seriously, look up like high-end fingerboards.
Yeah.
And just the name of fingerboards sounds dirty, by the way. Just like to point that out.
Wait, what?
I'll have to show you the picture when we get off
Yeah,
here.
yeah. That's wild.
But yeah, they're expensive.
Okay,
So
there's
they're
one on
expensive.
here that's like okay, $35. That seems high. 22.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there you go. So I'm pretty excited for him.
That's
don't-
cool.
For anybody that knows him, hit him up. But he's really good, and I just love his spirit. Like he's just like, I got this. I'm gonna start a company.
Dang.
Like just like good for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah. So I'm super excited for him. All right. Outside of that, any inspirational or motivational words to leave us by? In, on, over.
No, not really. I was gonna say something related to the. I'm not gonna make any political. Forget that. I'm not gonna say anything.
Can I? No, I don't want to say it. It's not. I'm astonished at reactions. Like, no, I will say this is my inspirational thing. There is nothing in this world that is worth taking your life over.
Oh, jeez.
Nothing at all. It gets incredible. We'll talk statistics afterwards, but
Yeah.
it's incredible. Like, if you ever feel the urge for something like that, go talk to somebody immediately.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't matter what it's over. Just go talk to somebody. Like, it's not worth your life. So, with that being said, leave it on something really, really positive.
Yeah, right.
I guess have a good night, day,
Yeah.
morning, whatever. And deuces.
In the toilet.
There you go. Peace.